whom I'm finding may not want it. There'll be a caucus meeting later this afternoon where I hope that the members of the Democratic caucus will elect a new leader. For today, I FedExed my voter registration form to change my party affiliation to no party affiliation. Joe Scott should receive that by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning in Broward County. And here's why. Our constituents are craving practical leaders, not political hacks. We are entrusted to be guided by our conscience, and while I suppose it's easier in theory than it is in application, even my worst detractors have no valid claim that I can be bullied, that I can be bought, or even borrowed for a special interest. I am my father's son, even in his death. I am my mother's son, while she is still alive. I will not miss another one of her birthdays, and I will return to who I was when I became a young man, independent in thought, in my passion, and my conscience, not consultants.
That makes two of us. You and me both, buddy. You and me both, brother. How many of you guys are tired of these political hacks? I know, I sure am. And to be honest with you, it's making me really reevaluate what we do here. The conversations that we have, the discussions that I choose to get involved in, the stories I share with you. The latest being the nullification of the 2024 election.
Well, I think there's a difference between saying whether you're complying with the law and then you have these individual district court judges setting effectively broad federal policy that is specifically reserved for the President of the United States. I think we do have a constitutional crisis, and it's being caused by these judges. They're not here to tell us. They're not here to tell us how to spend the money. They're not here to set broad federal policy. That is the president's job as elected by the people. These judges are supposed to be settling discrete, specific matters, not policy setting. I think Vance is right. I think Trump has a point. And these judges want nothing more to continue the lawfare against Trump.
I don't think anybody's going to be surprised to hear that you think Trump is right.
They're doing this on purpose.
However,
I get it. You want individual federal judges who hate Donald Trump.
No, I don't.
To tie him up for 4 years.
No, I don't.
If you want a big policy questions decided, let the Supreme Court do it. But in the interim, the executive has to be allowed to govern.
Results as the Democrats and deep state, really, for that matter, just buy time until 2028. But I got bad news for them. That's not going to help. It's not going to help. It's not going to help them at all, especially considering that their front runner, the potential Democratic leader nominee here, is AOC.
You know, Idaho, I am so touched being here. I'm a girl from the Bronx. To be welcomed here in this state, all of us together, seeing our common cause, this is what this country is all about. Don't let them trick us into thinking we are enemies. Don't let them trick us into thinking we can be separated into rural and urban, black and white and Latino. We are one.
Alexandria, they told us this was a conservative state. They got it wrong.
And Idaho, I know that looking around here, it can feel impossible for Republicans out here to be defeated. That's not true. It's simply not true. And from the waitress who is now speaking to you today from this podium, I can tell you, impossible is nothing.
And as Alexandria just said, when we stand together, when we do not allow them to divide us up, there is no stopping us.
Miracles start with mustard seeds, and that is what each and every one of you represent today. Small miracles of faith in ourselves, in each other, and in the refusal to give up.
Yeah. Oh, damn. I think I just stepped in some dog poo. That would be a better candidate than AOC. Whatever's on the bottom of my chancleta. Oh, man. Can you imagine AOC as president? Can you imagine the campaign? Can you imagine like the idea that anyone would believe that this woman could potentially lead this country, who could potentially have negotiations with foreign leaders and fix our economy? She ought to be behind a bar, tending, serving drinks or something, right? Be that as it may. The reason why this won't even really be much of a talking point, this will really be a moot point, is because 2028 is not going to be long enough. Thank you, Sarah, for sending this email and sharing this information with me so that I can share it with the world, or at least our little corner of the world here. And President Trump has launched a new website offering new merch, a new hat that alludes to a 2028 presidential campaign, run and win. MAGA 2028, Trump 2028. He would be a 45, he'd still be a 47. But maybe we could put like a little asterisk, 47 times 2. Yeah, 3 terms? 3 terms? That'd be monumental, that'd be epic. You think it would happen? Do you think America's ready for it? Do you think the world is ready for it? You think the left is? Can you imagine the meltdown? The meltdown that we have witnessed so far from the left, from these libtards, just from what we experienced so far. If Trump were to run again, the meltdown that would ensue and the win. Better lock and load, folks. You better lock and load. But that's a long ways ahead of us. We got way bigger fish to fry until we get to that point. And I'm going to try my best to bring you guys all the latest. I think that matters most. And we wade through all the BS and nonsense and chatter. That's just more of a time waster. Okay? More of a time waster. Yeah, the left, they're screaming, they're crying. The tears are flowing. They're losing it. I get it. We don't need to talk about it every day, do we? The media is continuously trying to portray Trump as the bad guy, orange man bad.
President talking tariffs and the economy. If you look at our new Fox News poll at 100 days job approval compared to other presidents, there you see the president at 44%. And you see his first term at 45% at this mark, the 100-day mark. We have other new polls that are revealing some concerns about the economy. Let's talk about that.
Everyone within the Trump administration is being thrown under some bus. Pete Hegseth has his own specific bus. But, yeah. Wild and crazy stuff. Wild and crazy. It's amazing how many people have already called Chapter, our partner, for free Medicare help. We just had a quick chat with them today about you guys and how many folks that they've already helped and are likely to help here in the future. So if you haven't called Chapter for your free Medicare consultation, what are you waiting on? The number's on the screen. Give them a call. Give our partners a call. Make sure you let them know that Kevin sent you, and come back and leave a comment and let us know how that phone call, how that free consultation went, the plan that you're on, the plan that may have been better, a better option, or better yet, the amount of money that could have been saved. For you specifically, everybody's situation, everybody's plan is going to be different and unique. And that's why it's important to have these talks, have these discussions, which I think are probably far more important than just rambling on and chit-chatting and hemming and hawing and, gossiping about the latest BS that's happening on the left.
When white people are the dominant group. How do you pin them down, though, on that?
How do we pin their...
The fact that restricting abortion access was Jane Crow Part 1, and that then incentives to procreate that are very specifically tailored to specific groups are Part 2. How do you make the subtext textual?
I'm curious what if Black and Latina and Asian women said, sign me up? Like all these programs that you're offering, let's see if they will still offer them. I mean, we saw this. I mean, I know it's a not a one-to-one comparison, but we saw with certain gun control, right? When the Black Panther Party said, oh, well, you want to have guns? We want to have guns. All of a sudden, we have gun laws, right? And we saw a backpedaling. What if women of color said, all of these policies that you're making so easy for other women, what if we were all of a sudden interested?